Hi, this is Ron Jones. Welcome to Business Lab. Today we want to talk about communication channels. Communications is important in our function as not only in families and in society, but also in our business. And we must choose the channel that is appropriate. Channel is the way that we pass information between the sender and the receiver. And when you choose the incorrect channel, you risk misunderstanding and confusion. So let's look at communication channels. Let's discover them from what we say the richest to the leanest. In other words, what offers the most value and what offers the basics. One of the richest forms of communication is face-to-face. Face-to-face offers the information not only in your words, but also in your body language and in the tone of your voice. It offers many different variations on which to communicate your message. A step down from that, which we would say is maybe not the richest, but one rich form of communication is like online video messaging. You know, it's a little more difficult to read body language, to read facial expressions, but for many times, if you don't have the opportunity to meet somebody physically, a video conference is the next best thing. Stepping down into more leaner forms of communication are things like the telephone or voice messages. They don't offer a way to see your face. They don't offer a way to read your body language. However, on a telephone call, you can quickly understand or realize whether the receiver is understanding your message and correct it if there's a misunderstanding. So it is instantaneous in that relation, and that's helpful. Probably one of the leanest forms of communication are things like SMS, messenger services, and even email. There's no visual, there's no voice, there's no tone, and you just have details and information. Now, the great thing about email or even written text messages, they're great if you need to share like directions for a process. If you want to give somebody directions, a step-by-step on what to do, it's actually much better to do it by written communication than by voice. You know, by voice, the receiver may not remember what you said. They don't have a record of what you said. With an email or a text, they have it, they can look, and they can follow the directions in each of the steps. So, when it comes down to it and you have a message to transmit to somebody, what factors are important to consider? Well, one of the factors is who's the audience and how important it is for you to see their reaction and to observe how they receive your message. That'll make a difference on what channel you choose, as well as the length of time to convey your message. If it's a long, lengthy conversation, it's better on a phone than to try to do it in a short text message. Also, the complexity of a message. If you have a delicate or sensitive issue you need to talk to somebody about, don't do it by text. You know, if you need to share an argument with somebody, if you need to reprimand an employee, you want to do that in a face-to-face setting. You want to understand their reaction, and you want them to see your body language and your tone of voice. Don't send a text message and a reprimand. Another factor to consider is, do you need a permanent record? You know, email and text messages offer that great opportunity that you can look back and follow the message and understand what each of you had said. The degree of confidentiality also will affect the channel you use on your communication. And also the last thing is probably the cost of communication. You know, face-to-face is great on communication channel, but if you have to talk with somebody and they're halfway around the world, it's just too expensive to travel to them. And so a video conference or an email or a voice phone call is probably the better choice. There's so many channels that you can choose, but I want to encourage you to be selective. Be careful when you are sharing your messages that you use the correct channel. This is Ron Jones. Let's see Jesus lifted high in the marketplace.